you guys, welcome back to my channel, and today we are going to look this beautiful, but we're going to learn how to prep your skin before you look this glam and this beautiful. And by the way, if you're interested, let's go right ahead to this makeup tutorial. And today we're going to talk about the skin prep for your makeup application depending on your skin type, because of late I am experiencing a very different condition with my skin, from being the normal to oily skin to being normal to dry skin. So that way the manner in which I am preparing my skin to apply my makeup is going to be different from what I used to. Before we could dive into that, let me go ahead and start by doing my eyeshadows, and then we will dive deep into how to prepare your skin as per your skin type. And you guys, I'm going to mix these two concealers, but I'm just going to mix anyway. My lighter concealer is going to look a little bit more lighter than my normal concealer, which is the shade Honey from L'Oreal Paris. Just going to base my eyelids and to really prepare my eyes for my eyeshadow application. And by the way, you guys, my mirror is right next to me, but it's obvious that I cannot see from this mirror. The mirror is right here. It's obvious that I cannot see from that mirror. I'm going to take this eyeshadow palette and use it as a mirror for me to see what I am doing as I am applying my eyeshadows, as well as when I prime my eyelids. And by the way, you guys, when you prime your eyelids, you would like to ensure that your eyelids are properly primed and there is no harsh line on your eyelids. And by the way, you guys, I'm going to use this eyeshadow palette again. I'm just going to be very basic with it. I'm not going to attempt any type of look. I'm just going to apply a beautiful eye look, nothing really dramatic. And I'm going to apply this eyeshadow just from my outer corner, just like this. And I don't know, you guys, but from the mirror, this eyeshadow, it looks very pigmented. And I'm just going to then apply it like this. Then I'm going to apply this again on this side, not really forgetting that I'm building the pigmentation, and I'm going to take a little bit towards the outer part of my eyebrows. Because I'm building the pigmentation, I'm just patting this eyeshadows. I'm not swiping it. I'm using a patting motion because I would like to have a deeper pigment from this eyeshadow. And not really applying any transition shade, just to try to diffuse it on its own. Okay guys, I think the next eyeshadow I'm going to then apply, it will be a very shimmery eyeshadow, because I've been doing a lot of matte eyeshadows of late, so I'm going to apply a shimmery eyeshadow. Oh my god. Okay, I think it's way lighter than I thought it would be. It's super bright than I thought it would be. Then I'm going to apply it towards the inner corner, and possibly I will get the mid color just to embrace the brighter inner corner. I'm applying this eyeshadow using my fingers simply because these eyeshadows are very creamy and they are applying very nice. And by the way, guys, they feel very fresh. And I'm going to take this eyeshadow just to apply as my transitioning shade, just a little bit, not too much, a little bit. For the middle part of my eyelids, I'm going to use this eyeshadow. It's slightly reddish. I'm sure if the camera can pick it nicely. From my monitor I cannot see enough because today I have seated a little bit far from the monitor. Going back to this eyeshadow, I'm going to apply as my middle eyeshadow. And you guys, I'm going back to this eyeshadow just to build up the pigment. And then with my finger I'm going to transition these two eyeshadows for us not to have a harsh line between my eyeshadows. And you guys, I think I'm going to use this eyeshadow just to brighten the inner corner, or to brighten and open up my eyes. And by the way, you guys, I think this eyeshadow is looking more like the one look that I have achieved from the Huda Beauty. And right now I regret really ever applying this eyeshadow the way I did. I went and grabbed myself this eyeshadow, which I think I will always be running back to it, to get me a deep brown eyeshadow. And I'm going to use Limitless as my deeper color for my outer corner. Not going to apply too much, just going to place it and leave it like that. And I'm using a very light hand, just going to keep blending just to ensure that they transition beautifully. And you guys, I think for the eyes we are almost done. One thing that's left is for me to do a wing eyeliner, and I'm going to use Essence liquid eyeliner, just going to apply and make a wing. A part of me believe that this look really is deserving a dramatic wing. And for those of you who has hooded eyelids like mine, don't forget, when you apply your wing eyeliner, you just need to ensure that you do not cover this area where your eyes have a hood or your eyes are folding, just ensure that you just apply a little bit under that area so that you can have a beautiful wing eye, even if you're applying a dramatic, by the way. The next thing for me to do right now is to make a base for my fake lash application, and I'm simply just going to apply like this. Make a base for my fake lash application. And the mascara that I'm using is my always favorite mascara, Essence Lash Princess Mascara, and it's waterproofed. Eyelashes that I'm going to apply, they are from Kiss, and the style is Pixie, and I'm going to apply them the way I always do. Nothing new there, just applying them the way I always do. Alright, let's now face up to the situation that we have at hand, which is preparing your face for your makeup application. The most basic thing that you need to put into account when applying your makeup, be it that you are a regular makeup applier, depending on your skin and how you are going to apply your foundation, how you want your foundation to really sit. If you don't want a cakey foundation application, there are steps in which you need to follow. And by the way, you guys, because I let my skin to be dry for too long, my skin already generated some oil as a way of trying to moisturize itself. I'm going to use this blotting paper from Essence. They say it's an oil control paper whenever your skin is getting too greasy after you have applied your makeup. Now I'm going to show you right here. This is what happens when you don't apply moisturizer on your face. Your skin will already generate oils to try to moisturize itself because now it is too dehydrated. And that way, you guys, normally I always use this moisturizer. It's a dual moisturizer, and the brand says it reduces excess oil and it helps prevent spots. And by the way, this is for problem and very oily skin. And I'm going to apply a pea size, and by the way, I think I have applied a bit too much. I'm going to apply this moisturizer on this side because I'm going to show you how two different formula is working. And by the way, this moisturizer that I have applied on this side, it is the moisturizer for very oily skin, and the one that I'm going to use, hydrating smoothing serum, it is from L'Oreal Paris. It's a Revital Lift. And by the way, you guys, I've started using retinol on my skin, and I'm going to apply on this side, and because it is very hydrating, you guys, it is going to leave my skin smooth. And not that I am receiving the different results from these two. I think they both do the same work for me, because some days I'm much oilier and some days I'm much drier than the other days. And I'm going to let this to really settle. And by the way, for those who does not believe that you can apply your Revital Lift serum under your makeup, you can definitely go ahead and do that. And I'm going to use two different formulas again, because this side I have used the moisturizer for excessive oil. Then I'm going to use this Revlon Matte Primer. And you guys are always believed that this primer, like water really creeping primers, but it applies and feels like a silicone primer. I think it is because it's going to really mattify my skin. And by the way, you guys, I'm going to apply right on this side, and then on this side, then I'm going to go ahead and apply this hydrating primer from Yardley. I'm going to make a pea-sized amount and apply and blot it, because I would like this part of my face to be hydrated. This is how you prep your skin for your makeup application. And you guys, now that you have the basics of how to prep your skin for your makeup application, I think I'm going to use this only one foundation. And because my skin is being prepped differently on different side of my face, I'm going to also use different applicators in case your skin is dry and also in case your skin is not dry. Applying a very small amount, I'm going to go ahead and use a brush to apply on the side with which we say we are treating the oily. And on this side, you guys, as I'm applying and I'm blending with my brush, it's going to be a very nice full coverage. And as I apply this foundation, it's drying up too quick because of the formula of the primer that I have applied and the type of the skin that I have right here. And because nowadays my skin went from being an oily skin to being a slightly dry skin, going to apply again for the side in which I'm going to act as if it is a dry side. Then you can see how the foundation is going to be applied. And by the way, you guys, for anyone with a very dry skin, never apply a lot of foundation on the middle part of your face. Where you have fine lines is going to cut your skin. When you're applying it towards your nose, is going to cut it. And now you can see that with a damp sponge, because of the hydration from the damp sponge, this foundation applies beautifully. And it is really blending quite quicker, simply because of the base that I have applied on this part of the face. I have treated this side as if it is the most dry, so it is too hydrating, and the sponge is also hydrating. So I would recommend people with a very dry skin to always use a makeup sponge. And I'm just going to blend just to meet with these applicators. Then we're going to apply our highlighter. For highlighter, I'm going to use one shade from my foundation, and I'm going to apply a bit like this. For those of you who have seen me apply this, just to brighten, and that way, you guys, I'm going to go ahead and blend. And I would like you to check, you guys, that as I blend this, I am not taking my concealer to pass the peak of my cheeks, because I have this pointed out cheeks. And if you were to apply your concealer just to pass this area, it's going to restructure your face. And you're one person that has a very flat cheeks, you need to apply your concealer to this area so that your cheeks can always be highlighted and be well defined. And I'm also going to show you why do I always start with this concealer, then I will follow with this one. I'm going to show you what happens if you don't start with one shade closer to your foundation shade, you start to few shades away from your foundation shade. This is what happens. Even if you can apply a little, I won't apply a lot because I don't want to deal with fixing this whole situation. And then say you applied your concealer like this, the much brighter concealer, and you were about to blend. As you can see, you guys, because I have applied a small amount, it highlighted my face. It didn't make my face ashy, but definitely there's a difference applying a shade closer to my foundation shade and then going on top with the brightest concealer shade. And anyway, you guys, I'm going to apply and just to highlight my nose bridge as well as my forehead. And again, for anyone with a very big forehead like mine, don't apply a lot of concealer on this area because it will extend your forehead. And you guys, I'm going to use a translucent powder, and the reason why I use a translucent powder is because this translucent powder, mostly it will fit most skin color and skin undertone. I always put my translucent powder on this buffing sponge, and I will take my sponge just to tap on top of it. And if I realize that I have applied a lot of translucent powder on this area, I will tap it off from here, and then I will go ahead and set my under eyes and brighten up my cheeks. What happens then if you don't blot your powder is that your skin will be too dry. If you have a very dry skin, your skin will be too dry and it will really end up having a wrinkly, dry skin. If you tap it away and then you apply your translucent powder, then you know that you are just making a beautiful set under your eyes. You are not setting your under eye in a harsh way. I'm going to use this eyeshadow. Just going to apply under my lower lash line. Then I'm going to go ahead. I think I've been in this room for too long and it's getting way too hot. I'm going to use this bronzer from LA Girl. Just going to then sculpt out my nose bridge. Just going to sculpt out my nose bridge. And you guys, I used to brighten up my nose bridge with a translucent powder. I think I'm going to do the same right now just to give it a boom. And going back to this bronzer, just going to apply and really tipping out my forehead or my hairline for a more consistent makeup look. That is one reason why we are applying contour right here. It is for us to ensure that our skin is the same on our hairline as well as the rest of the face or the rest of the body. For blush, I'm going to go for this blush. Just going to apply at the tips. I'm not going to take it any far. Just going to apply at the tips of my cheeks because my cheeks are pointed out, and I will be applying it like this. Whenever I feel like I have lost weight, I always apply my blush and taking it this way because my cheeks would be very slim. I always apply it like this. But now, you guys, for some of us with the very pointed out cheeks, we need to set our laugh lines or our smile lines as soon as possible. Even though nowadays I really take some time before I could do it, I think it's because my mind will just be on the content that I wanted to share with you by then. That is why I end up forgetting that I should set my smile lines before they even cut out. And normally when I set my smile lines or I set my laugh lines, I always use my skin tone shade powder, and I found it to really looking more realistic than if I'm using a translucent powder. I used to use a translucent powder, but it was looking a little bit harsh than I would prefer. And right now I'm going to apply my highlighter. I'm going to go for this very same highlighter and just apply like that, and also highlight my nose bridge. And I don't know you guys, but I feel like really highlighting this area. It was not necessary for me to, but I just feel like really highlighting this area. I'm going to fix this harsh application of this highlighter. Going to fix it. That was an unnecessary step because I already highlighted my eyebrow bone when I was applying my concealers, cleaning out the eyebrows. And you guys, going back to the eyeshadow that I have applied to brighten up my inner corners, I'm going back to that eyeshadow and just to brighten up my inner corner. Even though we didn't get the real spotlight on this inner corner highlighter, but the inner corner is highlighted. I'm going to use the L'Oreal Paris Telescopic Extra Black Mascara, and I'm just going to apply on my lower lashes. You guys, I no longer know how to apply mascara. I've never used this mascara for the longest time because I love it. I never used it for a long time, so looks like I don't know how to apply mascara anymore. Using my skin tone shade powder again, I'm going to set the entire face and I'm going to lock this whole entire look. Using the highlighter from the LA Girl highlighter, just going to do apply. Alright you guys, I think for the lipstick, because I have applied the pink eyes and we are almost looking pink, I think I should apply this lipstick from Rimmel London. And the shade is Rouge. I think it's Rouge. Except that I have over applied my lipstick this side. I think everything is looking fine, and let me go right ahead and lock this whole makeup with Rimmel London 3-in-1 makeup setting spray. And this is a very hydrating formula from Yardley London. They say you can prime, you can set, and you can refresh. You guys, this is the final look of the tutorial. I really hope you learned a thing in it too, and I hope you love this whole look. And don't forget to subscribe, don't forget to share, do press notification button. Every time when I upload, you'll be notified. This is your Royalty. Sign off.